Hi guys, it's JTeam again. Today JTeam will present you a romantic American comedy, the next movie about a handsome man who is constantly pursued by girls. They just asked him to sleep with them for one night. Unbelievable, is there someone who has such a number? But just sleep with me once. Then the next morning they will break up with him, and find the true love of their life. It was a curse he got, story how, let's watch the movie. Good luck Chuck. Charlie, Chuck, is a young and handsome dentist. He has a successful career, amorous and amusing, but he never had a long-lasting love relationship. One day Chuck was invited to attend the wedding of his ex-girlfriend. The women sit at the same table as him. They seem to know something. They gave him a meaningful look, smiled at him with a big smile. Could they be attracted to his handsome looks? Chuck doesn't seem to understand, but he also did not think much. At this moment, a beautiful girl appeared walking forward. He was attracted and talked to a beautiful blonde. Left to contact each other. After the wedding day Chuck went to the clinic to work. Just entering the door, he was surprised. As if he went to the wrong office. Before that it was not just the old people. With the mirror set to suffer for gums only? Today, waiting outside is full of beautiful girls. Chuck feels that something unusual is going to happen to him. But what is it? That night, he returned home with doubts. Hearing the voice message from the desk phone, he looked blank again. There are more than 10 girls who want to date with him. Chuck picked one at random. He wants to have dinner together, then whatever. But the girl Chuck chose this time was really enthusiastic. Two people are still sitting in the car. But the beautiful girl took the initiative to strip the capital and prepare to act. This kind of thermogenesis is indeed Chuck just met for the first time. Surprisingly, he asked the girl why. The beauty finally told the truth. It turned out that she received word of mouth from the sisters telling each other, just make love to him once. Then the next boyfriend will be her true love. The girl said sincerely. When Chuck finished listening, he felt his heart soften. He thought, let this beauty want to do whatever she wants. But at that moment his phone rang. The girl he met at his ex-girlfriend's wedding party, Cam Wexler. She had a small accident and unfortunately got a chipped tooth. So she wants to find Chuck to fix it for her. He had a good impression on this girl. Should have a date for her that night. And immediately rejected the hot girl at her side. He quickly returned to his office. After fixing Cam's teeth, Chuck wants to have a more intimate conversation with her, but unexpectedly that the girl rejected him. It's not that she doesn't like Chuck, but because the person with her is often injured because of her bad luck. Chuck also understood after listening to her, and he comforts her, wants to have dinner with her, even if he was stabbed deeper with a steak knife. The next day, Chuck and his best friend Stu once again talk about near-filled magical experiences. Stu advises Chuck to enjoy this unexpected luck. Enjoy the active-looking women. But is it really that good? After listening to Stu, Chuck was convinced, and he began his journey of helping others. He accepts every woman who comes to the clinic looking for him, so they can quickly find their boyfriends. At first, Chuck felt a little bit proud, but it took too long. Then Chuck felt a little depressed. The women kept coming and going, but not having any feelings for him. He feels he has no feelings left while doing that. He seems to be a tool, nothing more, nothing less. Chuck felt a bit short. What should he do now? At this moment, he suddenly remembered Cam. The girl declined his dinner invitation. Chuck went to where Cam worked, tried to invite her out again. This time he also successfully dated her, the first time two people date, although there were some small things going on, but also considered perfect. After that, Chuck and Cam together expressed their feelings for each other. The atmosphere became very warm, the two were constantly intertwined. Suddenly Chuck's phone rang again. The caller was Stu. He tells Chuck that he called all of Chuck's ex-girlfriends, and the people who slept with Chuck. They married their next lover. Hearing this news, Chuck was scared because if after having sex with Cam, then she will break up with him and marry the next man when she meets. So he escaped from Cam.
Then
I gotta go. Dental emergency. Freak accident. Children.
Then he heard Stu again. There was one exception because the person was too unlucky, so I could not find my partner. So he turned to that woman for a test. As a fat girl, Chuck looks at her body and knows what the reason is. But you must have sex with her to find out the truth. The next day, Stu told him that the fat girl does not accept his proposal. Chuck heard very happy. He stood in front of the cams. The two finally rolled around, exercising all night. The next day when Chuck woke up, on TV, the news of a fat girl was on. Will marry an ordinary man. Stu tricked him, he wasn't dating that fat girl. So, lucky Chuck, the name still holds true for him. This is the pain of Chuck, he has with Cam. So will she quickly break up with him? Chuck froze thinking about it. He didn't want this to happen, and wants to rely on his own efforts to keep the person he truly loves. But what should he do now? People always say, love makes people dumb. This is not a bit wrong. The lovesick person begins their love journey. But these things put Cam under pressure. She does not understand because at first he is a handsome, attractive and has a good sense of humor. Why now he turned into a cheesy man? Don't give your lover a little private space. Cam finally couldn't stand it and said goodbye to Chuck. Chuck failed to sit alone in the rain. Now a beer bottle rolled in front of him, spun and stopped. Chuck glanced in the direction of his bottle and saw that his old friend had cursed him. He remembers something. Perhaps this is related to the story that happened when I was a child. It turns out that when Chuck was still a kid, he met a crazy girl who loved him. Little witch, Anisha. Because love fails, Anisha curses Chuck. As long as he fell in love with a girl and made love to her, then that person will immediately break up with him and find the true love of his life. Understand everything. Chuck went to find her friend, Little Witch, Anisha, begging her to solve that curse. Unexpectedly, Anisha said that the year herself was too childish, fundamentally not understanding what is love, and that curse is just a joke. Could Chuck really have such an ability, innate? Don't know how to solve this problem. He's really desperate, but he understands a bit. If that really found the person you love, so not by fulfilling her aspirations by herself. Chuck came home to find a way to call someone Cam admired for a long time. Let two people have a chance to meet, and he just stealthily stood looking at them from a distance, then leave. Day after day Chuck seems to be trying to get used to, with a life without Cam around. One day he heard that she was going to Antarctica. He immediately came to find her to say that. Events happened nearby that made him feel unsafe, so I played a lot of games to keep her. The plane is about to take off. He has confessed his feelings so far. He gave Cam a ring box, in which a small stone. At this moment, Cam realized that the person she loved had actually returned. Two people agitated hug and kiss. By this time, Lucky Chuck is no longer Lucky Chuck anymore. But this is because he tries for love. In fact, Anisha left that for him. A year later, the two were also in Antarctica, a place that Cam loves. And now beside her there is someone she loves. This movie has a bit of magic, but also tells us a truth that the more you love, the more you need to know how to adjust. Because love is never something you can hold too tightly. Give the other person space, trust them, and let them feel you are safe. That is the best way to hold love. Remember. Bye bye.